Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. It's been one of those days. Mind you, I think every day is one of those days at the moment. However, these are the projects that I'm going to be, this card I'm going to be showcasing you. Then I'm going to tell you the story about this card. I just need, if you have tuned in, if you can just let me know whether you can both see and hear me, then I know I don't have to worry about any of the technology issues. So, hi Glenda. Oh, good. You can see and hear me. It's always a relief. And seeing that, I'll just show you, yes, I am here. And after a little bit of challenges this afternoon, I am here alive and well. So it is pretty exciting. It's been an exciting week. I achieved my 12 years as a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Seems like a lifetime, and it's a fair bit of my life, and it's been a fabulous part of my life. So I've celebrated that anniversary, and I have yet to, because I've got to celebrate with you fellas. So I have to work out how I'm doing that yet. Haven't worked that out, but I will in the next couple of days. Hi, Myrtle. Honey, I'm going to throw you back down to my desk. Oh, well, actually, I might just tell you a little bit about me, just in case you're new to watching or you're watching on replay. All my live streams are step-by-step videos. So it's a tutorial basically with a video, and I always include lots of techniques, tips and tricks, and tonight is no other different. It has been a little bit of a change up at the last minute. All the products that I feature, unless I say so, will be available from my online store, and you see the link down in the banner, but it's also included in the description. Now, I'll walk you through the products that I'm using, but also let me know where you're watching from, because that's always exciting. And I know I have lots of people who watch but don't actually let me know. And it's nice to know where you're watching. It encourages me to let me know. Now, if you enjoy this live stream, and you've watched it on Facebook or YouTube, please like the video, and if you have yet to subscribe to either the page or the YouTube channel, please do. That way you don't miss out on any of my upcoming live streams, live tutorials, or whatever they may be. So thanks for everybody's congratulations for my 12 years. I appreciate it. And there's Marianne. She just lives down the road from me, not too far, on the beautiful Sunshine Coast. I'm going to throw you back down, to my desk. And Glenda's saying another milestone. Yes, there's been lots of milestones. Can't remember when she first came to one of my classes. It was a fair while ago. Always so much fun, and she loved bingo. I love doing bingo, and they were such fun nights. And I did sell my bingo machine, and I bought another one. So that tells you something. Bingo is back on track, but up at the Sunshine Coast. So thanks, Marnie. Thanks, Sharon. Look, thanks, everybody. I won't go through everybody here, but I will throw you back to me. Don't you like how I throw you around? I really thank you for watching my live streams, for supporting my business, for supporting me, and just being part of my community and one of my friends. So I love you dearly and thank you very much. Now I'm going to throw you back down to the desk. I hope you don't get too knocked around by all that. Now, I do have a story. Now, the theory of what I was going to do tonight was that I was going to show you using the Reindeer Day Sweet Collection, 2 different ways of using it that give a really different outcome. One of my friends, customers, said she bought the Reindeer Days designer series paper and she was struggling using it because it was a little bit bright. And as you'll see when I show you the paper, it is bright. And I've got a few tricks and tips tonight if you don't like how it actually jumps, how bright and clean the paper is. And I've done, and I should have shown you all the different papers that I've actually used, because I'm on my 3rd packet of Reindeer Days. So, and it is really, really easy to use in lots of different ways. However, I wanted to show you, this is the first one, so that you can see there's lots of layers and lots of different textures. But I wanted to show you that you can use, especially the dies and the stamp sets, in a completely different way and make it neutral. And I love this card. Now, I've got to tell you the truth, you know me, is this little reindeer wasn't supposed to be the reindeer, but I lost a die. Don't ask me how. I'll find it when I clean up my desk. It's been a pretty busy week with lots of cutting out, a lot of designing projects for the upcoming classes. So I had to fussy cut a little deer out of the designer series paper, which doesn't really match. But just imagine a different deer, the one, and I'll show you what one it was going to be. But I was missing one of the essential dies. So you can see I've added loads of texture, lots of layers. I mean, I've got this cutout here, which is one of the dies. I've got presents layered. I've got the sentiment popped up. So this is neutral and looks completely different. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Looks completely different than this card, which is casual, colourful, bright, breezy. I don't know what other words I could use, where this is a little more formal, maybe even a little more, could be a little bit more masculine, a little more neutral. Now, I will show you the papers. So you can, well, I'll show you the catalogue first because it's on page 26 and 27 of the mini Christmas catalogue or Christmas holiday catalogue or September, December mini catalogue. There's quite a few names. Now, it's a big suite, and I'll grab a pokey tool. So it's got this stamp set, which is here, so you'll be able to see it a little better. Sentiments are fabulous. I have used the Merry Christmas one. I use it a couple of times tonight. I love it. May all your days be full of cheer. And Christmas is better together, especially if you know your card is going to someone who's going to be spending Christmas with their family or friends. I love this sentiment, and I will use it lots, but I'll use it a little carefully because I want to think it through. Now, it has this gorgeous image of a tree. This is I don't know what you'd call it, but a collar and a buckle for the deer, for the reindeer. It's got some bells, which are really, really cute that you can colour. It's got all these other little details, backgrounds, etc. It's got this, and if you're not sure what this is, this adds dots if you want to add additional dots to your reindeer. You know me, I'm reading at the same time, thinking what I'm going to say. So that's why I always get, if there's dead silence, you know my brain has gone into overdrive. So also you could use it you know, as a background stamp. So you've got some little, probably a sky background here. You've got some little holly leaves and some berries, which are really little tiny. Now, I want to show you the paper because showing you here, you can see it's pretty bright, but wowzers, you can see it is really bright. I've been chopping. I'm using this tonight. I do love it, but there was some of it left over, and I thought I need to be able to use that. It's got this, which is a little more muted. I love the trees, but it's, you know, it's nice. But I think the others probably give you a little bit more creative license. And I don't know, I swear I didn't get this one in the first pack, but I obviously did and must have used the bells consistently. I've been looking at this and I've fallen in love with it. I love the shading. I love the little, is it a snow deer? You tell me. Is that a snow deer or a snowman? Well, it's not a snowman. I don't know what you'd call that. Let me know what you think it would be. But look, they're on skates. It's such a cute page. Now, none of the dies cut out this paper, but some of the others, the dies do cut out. And this is pretty bright as well. Now, someone asked me, oh, this is my favourite page. And you've seen me use this because I punched out the circle. You've seen me use this a few times. Punched out the circle of, so I had this really, really cute reindeer. Now, if he hadn't had a blue background, he would have been what I did for my card. But I wanted to keep it all neutral, even though he's got a reindeer, a Santa hat on. Love this paper. It went within 5 seconds, and I've got like 1/2-inch scraps for it. And the other side of this looks like it's the mistletoe one. Now, I didn't use the mistletoe paper at all in my first round, but I'm sure I'm going to use it in the second round. Snow deer sounds good. Thank you, Glenda. Rightio. So because I'm missing a piece, we're not going to make this card, but you can see kind of how I've done it. So this die is actually included. There's my catalogue. I'll put it away. So the die has 3-layered deer to make this little deer, cute deer face. So see how there's 3 pieces to it? So one of those pieces I was missing, but that's okay. So to make that, there's a separate die for the wreath. So this is just paper. These little peppermint embellishments were on back order. I didn't check whether they're back in. They're not due back in until mid-November, but they're coming back in. They were the most popular embellishments in the mini catalogue and have sold out a couple of times. Love them. Now, and it also, this suite has a twine, a real red and white twine. Comes with, which I have used tonight, I'm just going to grab it. Comes with the Perfect Plaid, is it Perfect Plaid? Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. I'll show you, it's one of the large ones, which is really good because you can layer 2 pieces of cardstock along here. Comes with the stamp set. Comes with that box, the book, what is it called? The book treat boxes, and I did that a couple of weeks ago and put that gorgeous little deer from the designer series paper on the front. I've got it over there. I can grab it a little later. So there's so much in this. Now, those little bells that I showed you in the dies, those little, where are they? Bells here, they cut out, they come in one die, so they cut out, but they cut out separately. So that's a really super quick way of doing some die cutting, which is what we always want. So let's do this card, which, as I said, wasn't my intention. I was just going to show you this card. Now I'll open it up and you see that I've used May All Your Days Be Full of Cheer. So our colour is Real Red, Garden Green and Granny Apple Pie, because that's the colour of the designer series paper. So I stuck just to that. Now, I have done, as you know, I'm a little struggling with arms. Mind you, I'm still playing pickleball, but I can't do any volleys or hit the ball hard. So that's a little hard. I'm obviously not the ideal partner. So my cardstock here is 4 1/8 inches by 11 inches. So I've cut an A4 sheet down halfway lengthways. So I've scored it at 5 1/2. Then I have used this really, really bright paper, and I have cut it at 5 1/8 inches by 3 3/4. I need to double check that because I'm going off memory, as you know, 3 3/4. Now, the way that I, dare I say, dulled it down, it's like I've taken away all the gorgeousness of this paper, is I added an embossed white cardstock layer. And you can see what that has done. It means that it's got a feature, it pops, but I've made it a little less in your face. However, another option I could do is actually use some vellum. Now, as you may know, we don't sell the plain vellum anymore, which I'm a little sad about. However, we did have a very gorgeous printed vellum. And you might have some of the other vellum left over anyway, but a printed vellum. And you could put that over and that would take some of this colour away as well. So let's start gluing this together. And whilst I do that, you may notice I'm using a few less dimensionals lately, not number per inch, but on the layers, and wholly and solely because Australia Post has been, despite them meeting their rules of how high they can be, have been sending them back to me, and I don't really know the why of that. But anyway, so I am a little less likely to do as much pop-up as I used to. So this one I've kept just using multi-purpose glue. Then I'm going to add the embossed 3D embossing layer. Now, I just want to remind you, if you're using an embossing layer, now I've got a grey plate as well, so it depends on whether you're using an old embossing plate or the new 3D one. This is, I think, the old one, but it's the one I can see because it's purple. And all of you know I hate purple, so it pops out and I see it really easily. But I just have the platform. I'm using the old platform too. Whoops. Anyway, I've got a new platform. I grab whatever's easiest to grab. And then you're just going to put your embossing folder down and then this here. You do not need your thin die adapter or any acrylic plates. You just need the embossing plate. So I always remind you of that because I know a few people are having trouble working that out, but it works really, really well. And it comes out with this, you can see how much detail is on it. Now, whilst I add the dimensionals, and I'm just waiting for all the jokes about how much glue I use or how much adhesive I use, and no, nothing's on sale. But at least, as I've discovered, if I do need to remove something, because I use so much, it's a little difficult. I don't know where, because I used to hardly use any adhesive. I use a fair bit now, a little more heavy-handed. Righto. So I'm just going to place this down. Now I've got a trick I want to show you, and I know I'm jumping, but I want to show you how I did these little strips, because there's no dies that do those, and they're so easy to do. Now, so this piece is real red, and it's my next layer. I'm hoping you're going to be able to see that. Now, I could have actually embossed it as well, but I thought, no, I'll keep it a little plain. But I kind of half regret that. Now, so I'm going to show you how I cut my little flags. As you can see, I didn't have much room to play with on this card, because I wanted the flag to, I didn't want the flag to sit up here so I saw white and coloured and then white again. It'll look a bit messy. So I've just let a little tiny bit of colour pop through and then the white. So this is a really shallow flag. So how have I done that? I put it on my grid paper. So there's my centre of 20. So I've centered it on either side of my grid paper. It's nice and straight. I've just cut a really small cut up the center, because I just want to show you this again. You can see I only wanted a little tiny flag. So you can make those flags, the depth of your flag, as much as you like. Now, because this is a little big, this is a little wider than normal, my scissors, I know, I cut them up there really easy. So I'm just cutting from the corner into where I cut up. This is the easy way to cut your flag, no matter how deep you're going to put it. See, that worked. If you're coming to my Meals on Wheels, let's make as many cards as we possibly can day, we're going to make some flags. Now, so all I'm going to do here, and again, I've lost a little die cut, but that's okay. I'll find it again. Again, I'm going to use my grid paper, because I want to make sure that this sits right in the center. So I'll slide it up a little bit so I can see that line. And I've got to think about this, 25, 5, 15. So I've got it right in the center, got it nice and straight. And then I'm going to just stick this down. Now, because this is so heavily embossed, I'm going to need to put a fair bit of adhesive on it. Now, this hangs over the edge, top and bottom. So I'm going to be putting my glue, which is something I very rarely do, on the bottom base. But before I do, I want to add a little bit of dimensional up top here. So some of this, because this has already been popped up, and I want this top of my flag, or tag, to be nice and supported. I don't want this to collapse on me. So have I got a, oh look, I've got this just sitting here. I'll cut this little piece off, which is the edge piece. And I'll just support this down here. Peel that bit off. There we go. So then I'm going to just down the center put lots of glue. And this is just because there's only so much that will catch this tag. So you can see I've added lots of layers to this, which kind of gives it a bit of richness, but they're still simple layers. So again, I'm going to come back to this line, get it nice and straight. Now there's my center, I already know that. Then I want to bring this, oops, I've got that a little low. So I've got it nice and straight. Put it in the center. Now I've got an overhang there, and I did that on purpose, So I'm going to turn this over and then just trim that off. Now I'm going to use my big, wish we'd bring these back. You hear me say this every time, my old Stampin' Up scissors. So now we've got that. So I'm 3 layers in. They're simple layers. There's nothing complex about them. So let's add my bright holly leaves. So I might put because you see, and I'll just show you why I made that decision. You see the greeny apple green is the minor colour, minor green here. So let's put it behind so it doesn't pop as much. Again, I'm just adding my multi-purpose glue so that, oops, I'm going to put this, oops, I didn't mean to do that. So I don't want it really high. Oh no, then I'm going to add this, which is the garden green. Old favourite, been around forever. It's been around that 12 years that I've been a demonstrator. Now I've got to put that little leaf up the top because I don't have a lot of room. I didn't put this, I put this up a little high. Oh no. Oops. Let's line that up properly. So I have put that up a little high. Hope the world is not going to come to an end. So I now have these little cute berries that I die cut. These were both die cut using the dies from the set. But I think you know, if you've been watching me a few nights, I'm on a Wink of Stella love affair. Oh, that didn't go real well. Probably need some tweezers for this. Anyway, we'll make do. So I'm just applying some Wink of Stella. Voilà. So there we go. I know you're going to have trouble. Have I got my... Oh, let's put it on there. I'm going to hope, oh, you can see, I'm hoping you can see a little bit of shimmer on that, which is what's so good about Wink of Stella. Cheapest way to add a little bit of subtle bling and add a bit more texture. So I'm going to, this time I am going to add another popped up layer, just using one of our mini dimensionals, which is the perfect size for this. Don't want it to show through those little holes. So I don't think there's a right or a wrong way here, but I'm going to use it there. Then down the bottom, I've already die cut my little deer, my little reindeer from the designer series paper. So he's going to float across down the bottom here, and then I'm going to have a Merry Christmas, as you can see here. Now where's my stamps? So I'm doing this in real red. Just going to clean up my desk. I've got a little bit of dimensional snow happening here. Give me a bit of space, a bit of clean space. So I've got a little tiny one strip here, so I don't have to cut it down. But if it's too tiny and I can't get it to work, I'll use the bigger one, bigger strip. As you see, lots of room for this stamp on that, and then just cut it down. Let's see if I can save one step. It's always... So this is from the Reindeer Fun stamp set, and I love this. And if you see, I've actually split this stamp. So I stamped it in one piece and then I just trimmed it off to get my Merry Christmas like that. I love, I don't know whether you can see that. I love this, how this has turned out. Anyway, so let's do this one. And as you know, I can't actually get above my stamping like I'd like to line this up. So fingers crossed. And I'm going to be brave. Oh, perfect. See, I must have been holding my tongue just in the right place. Now, this one I didn't tag. I don't know whether I want to tag it or not. Do you think I should, because I've tagged this, do you think I should tag both ends of this? What do you think? Hi, Chrissy, how are you? Do you think I should flag this? Not tag it, flag it? Or do you think I should keep it plain like I did on this one? I know there's a bit of a delay, so let me know what you think. And while you're doing that, I'm going to add a little, I hope I am, yes I am, I'm going to add a little bling to, I think she's a female reindeer, a doe, is a doe? I'm thinking I'm right. Going to add just a little piece of bling. Here to do that. So I've got lots of choices depending on how my card actually turns out, whether I put the reindeer here, the rainbow up here, no flag, but maybe cut on the slope. Ah, rightio. Well, let's give that a go. So I can put her, I think it's got to be her, pink ears, bow, flowers, and now a little embellishment. So it's got to be a she. So I can do whatever I like. So we're going to cut on the angle. I hope I know what you're meaning, Glenda. And Glenda, thank you so much for all your cards that you have donated to Homemade Cards for Seniors. They will be picked up. So was that what you meant? If not, we're in trouble. Now I know that there's a secret to this. I'm not. So if I line that up with that, I can line it up here with this one. There is another secret to do there. I did those at different angles. Oh no, I did them at the right angle. So that was a good trick. Looking for my lid. There it is. Righto, so that's what she meant. So let's see how we go here. So I kind of like her. This one I'm going to put in the middle. I don't know why. Some things just look, it just appeals to you. But other people would look at this and go, oh, I've got to hang her off. But no, I'm going to put her in. And I don't like her going down this time. So I only want to do the middle of the here, just in case she overhangs a bit. Sounds like I'm being a bit disrespectful to her. I know. Now I could have popped her up, but as I said, I'm being a little more careful. I am going to pop up my little sentiment here. Because this is so small, I'm not sure these will fit. No, I'll have to use some minis. Now, if anyone has any Christmas cards that they'd like to donate to Homemade Cards for Seniors to go to Meals on Wheels recipients this Christmas, you can either send them to me or there's a link. Oh, sorry. There's a link that you can send them to someone in your area. So no matter where you are in Australia, there is someone close by that you can either drop them off or post them to, or if you're anywhere near me, you can either post them to me or drop them off. Or if it's somewhere handy, I might be able to pick them up. I know, so there we go. So I like this card. I mean, I know it's a little bright and a lot brighter than what I normally do. And you can see it turned out a little different than the first one. Those little legs need to be glued down a little bit more, don't they? They're popping up. They're going to rip. So we'll glue those down. That's better. Put this down. This little leg. Isn't my pussycat nice and quiet now? She has so settled in. I shouldn't say that because, you know, she'll hear me being nice and she'll say, I might go down there and rip the place apart again. So on the inside of this card, I'm just going to be doing my all your days be full of cheer. Grabbing the little red ink pad. Now, just in case you're a local or close to local, I am doing a Stamper Stack card class on the last Sunday of the month, which I think is the 25th. I now can't remember. From 1 to 4. So you'll get to make 8 cards. And they're not as stepped up as this, but they might be. There we go. So how easy is that? And so I will show you. Hi Carol, how are you? So just ignore the deer that I threw in there because I couldn't find a die. So let's throw that one out for the moment. So we think of a really nice, cute deer that kind of matches. Which card do you like? The neutral or the bright and full of joy and happiness? That sounds like I'm loading that question, doesn't it? For me, both are happy and bright, but this one, you can't. For me, you can't stop smiling when you look at this card. But I love the neutrals and I love the presents. Now, I did promise you, and I'm just going to close up these ink pads because you know I have a long history of putting my hand or my projects in there. And I've got a trimmer somewhere on my desk. It's the night that everything's disappearing. Oh, here it is, over here. Obviously, threw it away. I'm just going to get rid of my stamps. Now, I want to show you how I did, and some of you will have seen me do this a few times, but just in case you haven't, is how I did these lovely little skinny ribbons. So there's a die for that bow, but I wanted some ribbon to wrap around the parcel. I hope you can see that. Oh yeah, so everyone's liking the bright one. The bright one. You need an assistant to arrange it. I do, Chrissy. And Chrissy's saying that because she has helped me 2 days this week and she leaves my desk amazingly neat. I tidy my desk, but then I go and work on it, and within 2 seconds, it is absolutely blown away. And I don't have, Chris is going to deny this, but this is true, I don't have any room on my desk to film. I have this little tiny area, and then everything to the right that I've used is just piled up. So I want to show you how fine you can cut cardstock with a new blade. Now, I've got to say, because Chrissy did so much work with my trimmer, my blades were as blunt as. She cut, I think we worked it out, 350 pieces, 350, 750, about 900 layers of cardstock. What an effort, so thank you so much. all I'm going to do is I've just got a piece of white. I could use any colour. Actually, I probably should use a different colour. Look at this. I've got one of my not so favourite colours out here, which is, I think it's balmy blue, boho blue, balmy blue, one of those. And all I'm going to do is, actually, my trimmer track is a little crappy, so I just put some cardstock down it, get out all the crappy bits. There's lots of different tricks people do for that. Now, I'm just going to line this up on the edge of the brown cutting base. So I'll just show you. So just, whoops, where am I? I'm trying to look at the camera just there. So I'm going to line that up for my first cut. And you will see how fine. But you want to be cutting from up the top. Well, if you've got it down the bottom of your cutter, you want to be going towards you when it's this fine. So look how fine that is. So that's what I've used. However, I might decide that I actually want to have like something like a faux ribbon and that I can actually tie in a bow. So I want it even thinner than this. Now, what makes this work is that it holds my paper in quite tight, and also the blade is so sharp. Look at that. So you can see it's half the size of this. Now, you know how if you don't have the right twine, I can now tie this into a bow. So it's really easy to have a matching paper bow if you don't have any twine. You do have to fiddle with it a little. And I've just ripped that, but that's just because I was a little impatient. But I'll just tie it in a knot and you'll see what I'm talking about. You do have to be a little gentle, not my... So here's some, this is why I have all those other colours on my desk so that I can do this. So you can see how I can tie it. Oh, Chrissy did not know that. Well, see, this is why I keep repeating my tips and tricks. But look at that. So it is such a good... you can cut down. I could cut down, and I have cut down even smaller than that. But I think that's good enough to do live, just so there's no disasters. So that's how I did these little papers. Now, to stick them on, I did... Oh, did I still have a little piece of that? Oh, I threw it in the bin. Wait a minute. I'm going to show you then how I glued it down, because there's another little trick. I'm going to pick the bigger one. I'm not silly. And I've got a little leftover piece of cherry cobbler on my desk. Now, I could use the fine tip glue, but to be honest, it's not my favourite glue. I like this one here. You see me use it all the time. Never used to use it until I broke my arm. Now, to apply this, I could have used the adhesive sheets, but I also find the adhesive sheets on this size of paper is also a little difficult to deal with. So all I did is hopefully this is going to work, is run a really thin bead in a straight line, hopefully a straight line, stick this on. All right. Now, because it's such a small... That shows up really good, doesn't it? A little bit of glue may seep out. Now, I know we have glue rubbers that can remove that adhesive, but that's a bit delicate to do that. So what I do, and it's going to dry clear, which is what's so good about this adhesive, is it does dry clear. It's a bit tacky, not a lot, a little bit down there. So what I do is get my embossing buddy and go like this, and that takes any of the stickiness off. So it won't stick to anything. And if you've got a little bit of white residue, especially if your embossing buddy is nice and fresh, all you have to do is get a little damp cloth. I use a baby wipe and wipe off the white, and that's not going to be, it's not the slightest bit sticky anymore. So that's a way of solving sticky, you know, those little sticky messes sometimes you get. And you know me, I use a lot of adhesive, so there are more probably sticky messes my end than others. And then if I wanted to make that present, I could slide that there. So that's another trick which I was going to show you on this card when I made it, but that didn't come to fruition. So hi Susan, thanks everybody for dropping by. Hopefully you all enjoyed tonight. You liked the projects. There were some tips and tricks that you that you'd seen before but were just reminded of. And now next week I am not going to do a Facebook Live. I'm going to give myself a night off so that I can get all the preparation done for the Saturday and Sunday on the for the charity, for the Meals on Wheels. I have to stop and think homemade cards for seniors. So that will just give me a little bit of extra time because it takes a fair bit. I've got 20, I think I've got about 26 people coming. So I've still got a couple of vacancies to squish people in because it's going to be a fun afternoon. It's not going to be a class. The samples are pretty easy, but would love a couple more to come along to support the charity. Ideo, that's it for tonight. I'm really excited. I'm so looking forward to getting together, not this weekend, the following weekend, and I thought you'd give me a night off. Thank you for your lovely feedback. It's been a really good day today. And thanks everybody. I will see you in 2 weeks' time with a new fabulous project. Bye for now.